Hello and welcome to the Clapping Podcast, where we have Daniel clapping. I'm here to talk about the gaming industry and everything in between, and I'm joined here by our usual host, Tony.
Hey, that's me.
And let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
The introduction literally changes every week.
We should you should really confuse people by sticking the music here now.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, the fuck? I say just people, like there's anyone else.
Scorn Retorts is our biggest.
Today Martin said he wanted a link to the podcast so he could watch them.
Ooh.
So Martin's on it now.
So
that's
an increase of 100%.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's how you spin stats.
What Andy does is he was just like, yeah, I get your extra views, and I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I play the video play the whole podcast through muted just to get you there.
Yeah, doesn't listen to it.
Why wouldn't you just listen to the podcast?
Like, I have to listen to you
So,
guys.
no.
On a daily basis.
I'm cheating the system. You don't even know.
Wow.
So, Tony, what have you been playing this week?
No, I'm not looking forward to this, but I'm addicted to Space Engineers again.
Jesus
Christ. For God's sake.
It's happened again. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, you know, No Man's Sky came out and you're just so disappointed you have to go on an even more broken game, Space Engineers.
Oh, it's gotten better though. It's got more updates. It works better. But I just wanted to build a ship and actually have a finished ship that works. I'm still working on it though.
So you haven't achieved that
Toby has a lot of Molyneux projects on his creative games.
Whoa.
I'm close to finishing this one though. So.
But he never finishes them.
So what you're saying is they're just promises that haven't been delivered
yet. I'm baby Peter Molyneux.
We waited like a year and a half for Toby to build a hub world so we could actually play on a Minecraft. So.
No, to be fair, there is a history behind that and why it didn't happen.
Sounds like he's tilted.
No, it was DNS, right? This is a Minecraft mod pack, and it's one of the worst mod packs I've ever played on.
Why are you messing with domain name suffixes?
We couldn't
I
play
have
on
no
a
idea why they
Minecraft
called it
mod
this.
pack. We had to play on Toby's own created mod pack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nazi mods or Devon is a place on Earth.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, but
yeah.
The people don't care about Minecraft.
Yeah,
we've been Molyneuxed by Sean Murray. One Man's Lie.
Yeah,
Sean Murray.
With his flannel shirts.
You skipped World of Warcraft and Overwatch in one foul swoop.
And in fact what Tony was playing. I've been playing Space Engineers. No one gives a shit. Moving on.
Yeah, he literally only has played Space Engineers.
I've played others, but not to the same extent as Space Engineers.
Perhaps he's watched things.
I was actually playing I will talk about a game that I was playing today, because I just played a new one.
By the way, we have a new microphone on the podcast, so you can probably hear all of Joe's keyboard presses in glorious HD.
You can hear them anyway.
What you've done is made me sound even more shit, though.
You
haven't made you sound better. You just made me sound more terrible.
So today, my friend Martin called me last night and he said, I've been playing this game for like hours because they were having a LAN party, and he said it's really fun.
I've got Brawlhalla.
It's like a free-to-play kind of Super Smash Bros.
I don't think it was free-to-play when
It's free-to-play now, and what they're doing is you're limited to about 5 or 6 characters, and you unlock them by gold.
What's this game called?
Brawlhalla.
I'm sure I got like a free hero for Brawlhalla in one of my loot boxes. Not loot box, loot crate. And I never installed it because I just didn't care.
Well, we played it for a little bit. It's quite fun. It's very Smash Bros.
That's probably why I didn't like it. I'm not very good at Smash Bros.
Well, I'm not very good. We were kind of just had like 4 of us, and we're kind of in the arena. Each character kind of has their own ability, and then you pick up weapons, and then each character has their own sort of style with the weapon.
Okay, so it's very Smash-like.
It looks very Smash-like.
It is, and it's on PC.
It looks really fun though.
It's free to play and it's on PC.
It's on my wish list as well.
Have we just coined a new phrase? Instead of roguelites, you've got Smash-like and Smash-like now.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think that was a topic before.
Smash is like a very different genre of fighting games. It's not like any other game.
That's true. Because it's platform.
But it's very like Smash because you got like stocks and that sort of stuff.
I wonder if the backgrounds move as the level goes on.
No.
Okay, so it's not quite
static,
that level.
Kind of. I think I don't know. But one of the weirdest things is this game has the music and sound disabled by default. So I was playing it with my friend like Martin, Matthew, and Albin.
Yeah.
And we were just fighting, and I was like, "This is so eerily quiet. It's really creepy." And then Martin's just like, "Oh yeah, there is sound and music. It's just turned off by default."
Why?
I don't know. It was really.
It's got to be a bug.
It's some weird bug. Or
Either
something.
that, or it's a very weird design choice.
It's been out since the start of November, but okay. That's
I've heard of it before.
Confused.
I'm very bad at platformers, so I haven't Awesome Noughts is about as close as I get to a platformer.
Well, that's why I had the controller plugged in, because I was playing it with the controller. Right. It's quite fun, actually.
It looks kind of neat. I might check it out.
Well, it's free to play. So basically, the system they have on the game is you have 5 characters unlocked, and when you play a character, you level them up.
So it's progression.
Yeah, but you get coins from that, and then you have dailies. It's quite similar to Evolve, how they do it. And what you do is you can unlock different skins. Each character, you'll have different skins by default. You can unlock different weapons.
So and you can unlock characters with the gold. So I guess it's kind of you can get there quicker by just buying them in the store, sort of thing. And that's how
I did feel like it was for free to play unless you want to put a lot of time into this. The characters you get probably aren't enough to keep me interested for that long. You can buy basically all the characters for about £15.
All right, so it's you pay just about enough for a cheapish game, and then you get everything. That's not bad.
They kind of suck you in with the free to play, but to get all the different characters and stuff.
And that's good enough for people to try the game, see if they're even remotely.
You could definitely grind it free to play though.
Yeah, how long would it take? Would you say to unlock everything then? If you really didn't want to pay.
Martin played it for about a couple of hours. He played it for a little bit longer than us, but after a couple of hours of playing, you should be able to unlock a character.
Okay, so there are how many characters that aren't unlocked to start with?
There's probably about more than 20, I'd say.
Okay, so you start with 5, so it's
that's a lot of grind.
2 days worth of actual solid.
Well, the most of the gold he got came from leveling up the characters, and I think that'll get slower as time goes on.
Oh, okay, because it becomes harder to level the 5 characters.
But as you level up the character, you also get cosmetic things like different skins and different weapons and that sort of stuff.
Cool.
It sounds interesting.
All of them have stats, so he had a modifier. He leveled up character quite high, and he could change the stat of armor onto it to make his heavier attack more stronger, or stronger. Yeah.
Makes my bones go stronger as well. But
pity for
well, yeah, I literally just
this
played
podcast sponsored
by a French yogurt.
I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft recently.
Legion.
Well, Legion's not out yet. Actually.
Oh, is it not? Has you just been leveling the new character?
It's the pre-patch event.
Alright.
So in 9 days, the actual Legion's
Legion
gonna
goes live.
You're gonna get 110 all the content.
Pre-Legion.
I already have the game, so I just got game time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the moment, they've redesigned all the classes. They've changed all the talents. They've got rid of a bunch of stuff that people want. They've kind of trimmed down the fat on the characters. They got rid of some useless abilities, some abilities that were situational people aren't so happy about. They got rid of glyphs and stuff, and they're kind of making that more cosmetic. They've changed the thing I'm most interested in is the PvP system. So they've kind of completely overhauled that, taken away the honor that you get from it. And what they're doing is they're making it so when you play battlegrounds and arenas, you level up and you get what's called PvP talents. So at the moment you don't have access to the PvP talents because those come with Legion. So when classes feel I'm lacking this ability or this ability, those will come from the PvP talents. And at the moment you can play as Demon Hunters, the new class. So I can talk about those a little bit. They suck. But only because they are balanced around 110. So in the moment you can only go up to the max level is 100, so they only have 1 talent.
Oh, okay, so they expect you to be max level before you actually really get to that.
And a lot of the classes are balanced around their artifact weapons. So a new mechanic they're adding in is that each class and spec is getting their own legendary weapon. If you played Hearthstone, Doom Hammer, Shamans are getting that. If Paladins are getting Ashbringer from Tyrion and that sort of stuff, and you're actually going to be able to wield that in the game, which is really cool. And then that has its own talent system that you get from leveling up with artifact power.
When they say you're going to be able to wield that, is it it's like the Ashbringer, but it's not? It's your version of it to keep the lore in check, because obviously everyone will be running around with it.
They're also adding a bunch of different cosmetic skins for each artifact.
Okay.
So not everyone's going. So you won't see every paladin with the default Ashbringer. I can show you a picture actually. They do look quite cool.
this will be flashed up on the screen in the.
No, it won't.
No, the editing has been Nazi modded out of our podcasts for reasons that will be apparent in the future of the channel.
Dun dun dun.
So there's default Ashbringer, and then there'll be like different skins you can
unlock. That looks pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool.
Sweet.
So that's what Retri Paladin's again. I'm playing a Retri Paladin. I play like Retri Paladin and Rogue, so I'll get like Ashbringer and whatever the hell
Are they making it so like you can have like more customizable, like what you look like now, opposed to
They're adding like a bunch more customization ability. They've now made transmogs.
Is it like Guild Wars now?
When you unlock an appearance of something when you get it. They've done it like that. So originally they had transmogrifying, where you could transmog a piece of gear, but now you just have to collect the piece of gear and you save that transmog in like a transmog tab in your adventure guide. I think it is. No, it's not your adventure guide. It's like a spellbook sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really interesting. I've been at the moment. They've added a bunch. There's a Legion pre-patch event, so a bunch of the Burning Legion is coming in and destroying like Azeroth, and you kind of have to stop that. There's also the Dark Whispers event, where in major cities, the Legion kind of goes, "Hey, work for me," and you can corrupt people, and when you corrupt enough people, you become a Dreadlord and you start destroying shit.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, they had a little similar event with Wrath of the Lich King where you turned into like a zombie sort of thing, which was quite cool. But yeah, I've been playing it for like a couple of weeks. I've just been I played some high-end PvP with the changes. Didn't like what they did with Retri Paladin because I felt like they were a bit weak. Because one of the main problems was they're really kiteable. They gave them like they were able to like mount up into a holy steed and run like a steed charge. Kind of similar to Diablo, because it seems like Blizzard kind of reuses some of their spells, sort of thing, in their other games. But
well, it's a similar genre or similar not genre topic. I guess.
feel like the monk from Diablo and the monk from World of Warcraft are very similar.
Yeah, I give you that one.
From the kind of panda shit.
Yeah.
No, it's completely different. He's a panda. How is that completely?
I really
He's
didn't
a
like
panda.
the panda shit. I was leveling. Me and my friend Matthew, who was on the podcast talking about wrestling. We were playing through the panda shit, and I hated it. I really don't like Mr. Pandaria, but
Oriental Islands.
I'm leveling up a horde character because that's why I'm playing both sides during Legion.
Yeah.
It was a druid troll, so pretty cool.
Fun.
I'll stop talking about World of Warcraft because I could literally talk about this for hours. And
let's get something else we can talk about for hours as well.
No. So this week I have been playing some Overwatch as Season 2. Season 2 has ended.
Okay.
All you do is talk about
Season
Overwatch.
1 is ended. Season 2 is about to start. But I've also been watching Overwatch because there's been
God.
The Atlantic.
The whole
That's
defense.
actually literally just happened. It's just finished.
It was at Gamescom.
Yeah.
So Gamescom's been this week.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I saw the World of Warcraft dance competition, which was, as always, a real treat to see people dancing to World of Warcraft dances.
So the most neat thing for me from Gamescom was, and again, this is still Overwatch related, but they released The Last Bastion, which was a really, really cool animatic.
And the new map.
And they teased the new map, which is called Eichenwald, I think.
You can play on the public test run, though.
No, you can't play Eichenwald on the PTR yet.
I saw someone playing on it.
Yeah, the streamers have been given access to it. The ones which are at Gamescom are allowed to play it, and it's been set up on the show floor. So if you queue for ages, you could actually go and play on the map. But it's not out yet, but it looks really cool. So it's set in a castle in a small German city. Yeah. And there's just like remnants of dead Bastion units all over the place. And there's a guy called Aldrich.
So for anyone who doesn't know the general Overwatch lore, the Bastion units were the Omnics.
So essentially,
they went rogue and they
well,
fought
not
with
quite
the
all
humans.
Omnics basically. Omnics as a general, I want to say species, but that's not quite right because obviously they're an AI sort.
No, I think you could canvas that in this.
It makes sense.
Species works.
It works. So they basically went to war with humanity because
and then
reasons.
the Overwatch
they
unit was created to stop the Omnics.
And so Overwatch, not Overwatch, Omnics consist of very different types, but the most common one during the war was a Bastion unit that is literally like a walking
turret
robot that turns into a minigun, which also has the ability to turn into a tank. And they were deployed all over the place. And Reinhardt, who is a big German guy with some seriously heavy armor, a massive shield, and a huge rocket hammer, is him or someone that is wearing the same armor is seen in the trailer like wrecking shit in these Overwatch animatic. But it's really great because it tells the story with no lyrics, no speech, no dialogue at all whatsoever.
You got like beeps of birds and robots.
Yep. And it's like it almost shows off a form of PTSD for Bastion, because he's been deactivated for a decade since the war finished.
So
he wakes up.
He's called Bastion because he's kind of the last Bastion unit that's left.
And he wakes up, and this bird's like built a nest on him, and his HUD flickers into life, and is like, "Go walk to this thing," and he just blindly follows it. But as he's walking through the forest, he sees how good nature is, until he hears like a woodpecker, and the woodpecker sounds like gunfire going off, which sets off his PTSD, or what I'm going to call his PTSD.
Oh, I see. So it's like automatic systems activate from
and he
that.
just
All right.
he just like triggers himself into his turret mode, just destroys a small part of the forest, and then like kind of snaps out of it, like, what the hell did I just do? So it's very interesting to watch. There's also a really epic battle scene from during the war in it. It's well worth having a look at.
See, Toby's thought that the animation so far has been kind of not great. He didn't really like them.
Yeah, that one so far not great, but this one actually sounds really interesting.
So
but my main problem with the voice acting, I'm going to be honest.
He hates
Well, there isn't
Tracer.
any in this, so it's not really
Yeah,
a
it
problem.
sounds
You know,
like
Tracer's voice actor is actually English.
She is
but
British,
They
yeah.
made her do like a fake English accent to be more recognisable.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for all the other languages that they did the same thing to, or the other
I
accents.
have you in my sights.
Yeah,
Oh,
the French
God.
one's not the brilliant. The German one's pretty good.
No,
Like,
I think
Have
if
you
I
got
ever
the
played
classics
Overwatch,
like Hasselhoff?
if I ever
But
played
it's-
Overwatch, I'd have to mute the voices.
no,
You
they're
get used
good.
to it. Like
No.
Tracer's not. When you play, like Tracer's not really that bad. I think it's more like.
Reaper's really edgy nature. It's like, die.
Yeah,
Die.
I think like
annoyed with all
Tracer
of
is
them.
more English in like the trailers and stuff, but in game she's kind of toned down.
Yeah, she is. It's good, but so yeah, if you're playing that, season 1 ended. I've got my points. They're making a whole crap ton of changes to the competitive.
No more coin flips.
The coin flip is gone. You will get, in the odd occasion there is a tie. Both sides will get points, and because previously it was 1 point for a win, none for a loss, it's now becoming 10 for a win or 5 for a tie, and still none for a loss. It just sounds like all rounds could be better.
Could they not just do a 2-1-0 system at that point if you can have it double as the other one?
They could have done, but it messes up what people have already got.
Oh, okay.
So the easiest way to do it is to times 10
see.
for everything everyone gets, and times 10 for everything everybody's already got, and also make everything that costs stuff in Overwatch, like better points, also
that
times
makes
10.
sense.
Now the ranking system is going to be from 1 to 5,000, and they're going to have tiers of bronze, silver, gold,
Diamond,
Diamond.
platinum,
Grandmaster,
Grandmaster. There's Master
it's
Grandmaster,
similar to like the StarCraft or like a
It
League
sounds
of
just
Legends
like
one.
it.
It is.
I wonder where they got the
And
idea from.
I don't know. It's very clever.
It's
though.
very similar to another game.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about that game though. No, we don't.
StarCraft 2.
Yeah, no,
StarCraft
we don't talk
Brood
about
War.
that
Oh,
either. I don't know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
Well, we talked about the Brood War remake.
Yeah, we did.
They're remaking Brood War apparently.
Too much micro.
Yeah.
Can't deal with it. But yeah, no, it looks like it could be really good. And one of the big changes they've made to competitive as well is that you place in a rank, and you can only ever go up in that rank. You can't fall out of that tier anymore. So if you're ranked in
Unless you're in Master or Grandmaster.
yeah, if you're ranked in Platinum, you'll stick in Platinum for the entire duration of the season.
Does that not mean that people who play the longest will stay there longer, though?
Well, yeah, of course they will, but that's the
Okay.
same for anything. So if you're really, really crap, then you'll fall to the very bottom of the Platinum tier.
Okay.
But I think you can jump into higher tiers.
What they wanted to get rid of was a thing called ranked anxiety, where people would not play because they were scared of falling down. So this really helps with that sort of thing.
I think this is similar to StarCraft 2, because back when I actually played StarCraft 2, I was set in not a tier, but like I don't know what you'd call it, like a league, I guess.
Right.
But everyone in my league like played like huge amounts of games, and it means that I'd get points whenever I won. But because everyone has so many more points, I'd never go up. And that in of itself is equally as annoying as losing points, and then falling down really quickly.
Yeah.
So I think a balance is necessary.
So balance is actually one of the things they've done massively for this as well. So they have tweaked Genji, who everyone was complaining about, or lots of people were complaining about, because he was really strong. So his ult is now shorter, and he can no longer. There's a fine art between making sure that there's unintentional effects and intentional things. So beforehand, Genji could do his swift strike, like straight after he dashed, which would do lots of damage, and it would also reset his jump, so he could, in essence, he could triple jump, right? So they've stopped that, so he's not quite as mobile now. His ult is shorter. He can't. I think there's another change. Oh yeah, he can't dash through traps, Junkrat's traps, or Widowmaker's mines anymore. So they've kind of toned him down a bit, because he was basically a must pick every time.
Yeah.
They've made changes to Zen because his Discord orb was too high.
They're buffing Mercy.
Yeah, they've buffed Mercy's healing rate, so she's pretty good as a pick again now. They've made Lucio's speed boost 70% quicker rather than 100%, because he was always a must pick, because you basically just went, right, okay, we've taken this point, we've team killed, speed to the last one, second point, done. Yeah. And they've done... Oh, there's something else they've done to someone. I can't remember what it is.
It doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. They'll get on the PTR.
Yeah, so if you go on the PTR right now, those lives are there. Oh, that's it. We talked about this last night. Hanzo's hitboxes, they've reverted. They made some changes a while back for people that don't know.
Hanzo had ridiculously huge hitboxes.
Yeah, it meant that you could basically headshot people by being vaguely close with Hanzo's hitbox. You could literally shoot
people round a corner.
Yeah, you can again now, basically. They've reverted that change because nobody picked Hanzo anymore. So now if your arrow becomes vaguely close to someone's head, you'll probably headshot them. No one really knows why they've done this, because... Well, they said it's because he was not getting picked at all, and right now it's easier to do this than to balance it properly, so...
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely need to balance Hanzo, because they definitely need to balance all the defense champions, because if you look at the statistics of win rate for all the characters, there's like literally no point to pick any of the defensive characters.
Maybe Junkrat at a push.
Yeah.
But right now, in Season 1, the meta was 2
support,
tanks, 2 tank, 2 offense.
2 offense.
Regardless of what side you're on.
Even if you're on defense, you still want to pick like a soldier or...
Bastion wasn't strong enough. Junkrat was okay, but didn't do enough DPS.
They're buffing Mai as well, we didn't talk about that.
Mei. Oh, yeah, she can throw her ult now through shields, which is really weird. I don't know if I like that, because she's pretty strong as it is. She's annoying, and lots of...
She's not strong, she's just annoying to play against.
I think that a good Mei really causes frustration for not bad players, but lots of players, because she's really good at neutralising a single threat, and her ult is really good at neutralising lots of threats at once. But if you've got a competent Zarya, it's not a problem.
She has a lot of utility. Okay.
Yeah, she does. But it's a weird way to balance her kit at the moment. So that's what I've been doing. I did also actually play another game. I played Telltale's Batman.
It wasn't really broken.
For me, I actually played it through without any issues. I know some people have problems with like using the codex or whatever, but I never experienced any problems with it.
There was apparently it had like a really bad PC launch and didn't do very well as a result.
I'm not sure. I didn't look at any of the hype for it. I just saw a Batman game, was like, I'm buying it. But it was 21:9 aspect ratio, wasn't supported, but I didn't expect it to be for a Telltale game, and it was okay. It was an initial starter point and click.
Are they still using the same system?
Yep.
As like the same like not system engine as like...
Yes. Well, it still looks like the Walking Dead episodes. It doesn't look great, but
they could just move the cel-shaded style to a new engine, and I feel like you wouldn't get these really wonky animations that you see in a lot of Telltale.
Yeah, there's loads of wonky animations.
There's like a point, like Bruce Wayne, whenever he walks anywhere in the game, he's really stiff. He just looks like he's walking with a stick up his butt.
How do they balance that between Bruce Wayne and Batman then? Like they
don't. Like instantly the second, like this is spoilers by the way, but they literally just like, there's two Okay, so
stories.
here's one interesting. Like, there's one ongoing story throughout, but the way that you play it can be quite interesting. You can either play down the proper Batman route, or what some people call the proper Batman route, which is just like Batman never kills, Batman never hurts anyone unless he has to. Right? You can be like old school Batman, who's just like relies on his gadgets and stuff, or you can brutalize the shit out of people and be full Dark Knight like Christian Bale Batman.
Jim Gordon from fucking Gotham style.
And they ask you these sorts of questions like, who do you side with? Do you side with the reporter? Do you side with Jim Gordon? And this kind of stuff.
I saw some footage from it, and it was just like Bruce Wayne in a tuxedo talking to Falcone, and I was like, but how will Falcone remember a decision through Bruce Wayne if he's talking to Batman?
Yeah, so at the moment that hasn't happened, because there's actually the first game is spent... The majority of my time, in fact, was spent as Bruce Wayne.
Okay. That's cool.
So it didn't involve Batman a lot at all.
I actually kind of interested. I think a lot of Batman games don't really look at the Bruce Wayne aspect of like his dual personality.
Because he's not very interesting. He's like a playboy.
But I like the fact he has to act the whole time, though. I quite like that idea, that premise.
It reminds me of a funny quote from Will Arnett in the upcoming Lego Batman movie, where Robin stumbles into the Batcave and he says, "Oh my God, does Batman live in Bruce Wayne's basement?" And Will Arnett's just like, "Bruce Wayne lives in Batman's attic." It's just like, he seriously just considers himself only as Batman, and Bruce Wayne is just a false identity.
Yeah. And
I don't even think that that's too far from the truth.
No, I think that's quite accurate.
Yeah, it was okay. I blasted through it very quickly. I'm not sure if I will pick up the other episodes. I think it may be enough to just watch someone else go through those, because honestly...
But the choices...
I'm not that interested, to be honest. It didn't have enough to hook me for what was upcoming, because it just sort of started off telling me the story, and you're introduced to some key characters. Like in this, the Penguin isn't the Penguin yet. You were first introduced to Selena Kyle. She instantly figures out you're Batman, for example.
How? What?
Well, you'll have to play the game to find out.
I don't want to play the game.
Catwoman's like a good detective as well.
Ish. Yeah, so but it didn't get me interested enough to play more, is what I said. So apart from watching Overwatch animatics, playing Overwatch, and actually playing a different game that wasn't Overwatch, which was kind of surprising, there's only one last thing I did, and that's actually I went back to Overwatch.
You went back to Overwatch again? Oh, you got us full circle.
Awesome Noughts. So
okay.
There's a few new characters in that who I don't understand, and it scared me enough that I've stopped playing again. So that's the end of that chapter.
I don't play League of Legends anymore, and I was watching a stream of someone playing League of Legends. I was like, I don't know who that character is.
It's like I tried to watch the International again this year, and most years the International for Dota has a newcomer stream.
They don't have it.
They didn't have it, and I was like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Last year I would have been like, yeah, I know that character. He's a must pick this meta. And this time around, I'm just like, that's a dude. Yeah. He's definitely killing that man. Now they're all silenced.
From like a spectator's perspective, getting into like any MOBA esports is
it's not easy
unless you actually play the game a lot.
I think that's why Overwatch is quite so. It's a tricky one. So Overwatch is easy to watch because most people know the characters, but they don't want to because it's boring, it's repetitive, it has one meta.
I always say this is that whenever I see someone playing Overwatch, it just makes me want to go and play Overwatch.
Yeah, myself is like, I could do that.
But I would rather watch someone else play Hearthstone than I would play it myself.
Yeah, I understand that because there's so much more complexity and difference in each game of Hearthstone and every person's different deck.
I just like seeing someone else get fucked by RNG.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good.
When I log on to Hearthstone, I'm usually just spectating someone else. Usually, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like to watch someone else get wrecked, and then I just backseat Hearthstone and like, you need to do this.
Hey, stream, what's
favorite? It's basically a separate game mode. Backseat Hearthstone.
Yeah. But I don't like people backseat Hearthstone in me because
I don't think anyone likes being backstoned. Backstoned.
Backstoned. Sounds like a Creed or
Toby always plays this like building game Stonehearth, and I'm like, that sounds like a Chinese rip-off of Hearthstone.
It's actually a really interesting game. I would recommend looking at it on Steam.
It's a Chinese rip-off of Hearthstone, Toby. Come on.
What he's actually been playing this week is Watch Over.
I've been playing Watch Over.
Have you seen the Overwatch knockoff game?
It's great. I love the look of it. It just looks so silly, all the animations going completely wrong, and fact
The map-
that, like,
the map
some of the
graphics are
characters
amazing.
don't
Oh
actually
yeah, I
have
showed it to you,
movement.
didn't I, Toby?
Yeah, I've
it's
seen
just
it.
great. It looks like an old CS:GO map, and they've just said, "Now we dump the Overwatch."
I think that's a game
characters
that's
in.
the game that's really popular on Twitch and it's easy to watch is CS:GO. And we'll be
It's true.
talking about that later actually because they just changed something in CS:GO
See-
to do with esports.
See, now that's weird with CS:GO though, because CS:GO, in a sense, right, is very similar to the repeatability of Overwatch, right?
No,
Like,
I
because you've
don't
got very
think so.
specific maps. Most people do the same thing. They mostly pick
Well,
the
sort
same
of.
guns, but Overwatch just doesn't manage to do that enough.
But
Despite
to
there
be
being
fair-
Because there's a lot of
To be
complex
fair,
characters
CS:GO's
with different
an older
abilities.
game. It's an older game and has different metas now.
It's true.
You could say CS is like what, 10 something years old.
Yeah. something
I
like
don't know. Is that when CS:GO came out?
that. Originally.
Not CS:GO. I mean
Just CS in
Counter-Strike.
general. Okay, yeah.
Which
CS
going back
itself
to
is
like
quite old.
fucking Project Zero and
1.6 or
1.6.
whatever. Yeah. So that's everything I've done
Because
this
Source
week.
is like almost 10 years old now. It's literally 9 years old, I think.
Wow.
Counter-Strike Source. So it's a really long-running franchise, and it's got a lot of fans because of that. But this week we're going to be talking about board game, and instead of Dan explaining the board game, I will be trying to explain the Sheriff of Nottingham.
I get to enjoy my Archers and Coke.
Just
Yes,
sit
it's
back and
Coke,
relax.
you heathens, not lemonade.
So, Sheriff of Nottingham is a game. Let's give an objective review.
It's a game. If you
Sheriff
like
of Nottingham
games,
is
Sheriff
a
of
board.
Nottingham.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
I'm the one that's drinking.
But basically, what you do is each of you has like you're kind of like a farmer, so you have like a stall,
right?
and then
okay.
each turn you take it in turn to be the Sheriff of Nottingham. And what you want, you put things you want to export into the into your store into a bag, and the sheriff he can either choose to not look through your bag or look through it, and you can kind of bribe him to look in it and not to look in it.
So
And what you want to do is so something's completely legal,
Right.
so you can put this
Chickens.
in, but you can also like chickens or
bread.
bread
Cheese.
or something. But there's also contraband items.
Okay.
So if these are found, then the sheriff can like stop anything from going through. But you kind of have this this kind of what you call them when you kind of lie to people in a game? It's
A bluff?
Yeah.
no like you have a term for it, a deceptive game. Or,
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's a
see. Okay.
Deceptive game. It's I can't remember. It's high risk, high reward as well, because obviously the contraband items are worth a lot more than just five pieces of bread.
So another thing to it though is if the sheriff searches your bag and there's no contraband in it, he has to pay you for the items that are in the bag
okay.
that aren't contraband.
Is to pay you for the inconvenience of
Yeah.
not believing you.
So I think when we were playing with Andy, he found it easiest just to give the sheriff really low bribes and just shove as much contraband into his stall as possible. That because the contraband's worth a lot more points because you're kind of collecting points towards the end, and the person with the highest points wins. But you also have like what's called a king of like a certain item. So you can have like whoever has the most chickens will be the king of chickens, and they'll get an extra.
I am the Chicken King.
You'll get an extra influx of currency for your end score. So you kind of want to collect one. If you have the most chickens, it's in your prerogative to kind of want to keep getting more and more chickens and that sort of stuff. And you kind of want to get this contraband in, but you also don't want the sheriff looking. So it's kind of like you kind of haggle with the sheriff, and you take it in turns to let people through or look through their bags and stuff. And it's quite a fun
I
game.
think it's clever in the way that you can only put a certain amount of things through, so you have to have at least a minimum of 3 objects of something, don't you? So you pick from like the same pile, and it's got contraband shuffled in with standard goods, and you look at your hand and you could have like nothing, and you need at least 3 things that match to put them into the little pouch, and the little pouch is really satisfying to like pop open. I broke one the first time we played it, which is why I sat out and spent the entire time trying to fix it, because it wasn't my game. This is why I haven't played the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah.
But it's clever the way it gets you to kind of think, am I just going to put through 5 chickens? Are there 5 chickens left in the game? That kind of stuff. Is it possible that this person is lying to me? And you start second guessing everything everyone does. it's another one of these games where it really pays to be someone who you just implicitly trust.
Isn't
someone who looks like they wouldn't lie?
Isn't there like a normal like a deck of card game similar to this, but like not as complicated? With like
Probably.
have like 3 of the same suit or something to go in, then you have to call their bluff or not.
Probably.
And you want to get rid of all your cards in your hand.
Bluff.
Well, if you can find out the name of that, Toby, then
I think it's actually called Call My Bluff or something.
It's probably.
I've never heard of this. So.
To be fair, I think a lot of board games are based purely on card games that existed. They just have a different kind of
made
genre.
More complex.
Yeah, they have a different genre twist to them, so they're easy to sell as well. They're more relatable.
Well,
it's a good
idea.
It's a good game as well because it's one of those games that gets you to start sort of semi-role playing stuff. So you'll be sat there just saying, "I am the lord of my chickens. I only have chickens. I'd never bring any crossbows through. I only like chickens." And then the sheriff opens your bag. You're like, "I don't know who put that crossbow in there. I'm certainly after chickens.
My own bag."
No. Yes, if you see a bag unattended and it's clucking, it's
just
not
like training for when you go through the TSA.
Yeah. What's this? Is that a crossbow? No, it's 3 pieces of cheese. Are you sure?
It's just in a weird shape. Honest.
What are you going to give me not to look through your bags when you're coming through to America? I'll give you 2 pieces of gold.
And 6 months of my passport.
Yeah. So that's the Sheriff of Nottingham in a nutshell.
Now we can talk about the main topic.
Wait.
What?
We need to ask if Tony liked it.
Oh, of course I do.
This is why I shouldn't let you drive, for God's sake.
It's just like Call My Bluff. It sounds amazing.
It's
I'm
exactly like his card game that he loves.
That he can't remember the name of.
Oh no, I think that's the name of it. I honestly think that's the name of it. I think it's called Call My Bluff.
Bullshit.
That could be what it's called too.
I think both are valid names. That's not what we called it.
Yeah.
Right, now you can move on. I'll give you the go ahead. Wait. No, I'm just shitting you. Go
on. So there was quite a big release came out.
There was.
So I want to say a week ago, maybe. I think it was around a week ago from the recording of this podcast, and I wasn't gonna originally get this game because I was like, there's a lot of hype around this game. Not sure when I'm gonna get it, but my friend Andy, who's been on the podcast before, I've just mentioned this. He said, "I've got money on Steam," and I said, "Okay." And he said, "Are you gonna get No Man's Sky?" And I was like, "You do know it's not really multiplayer?" And he was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well,
I had the same thought.
Well, here you go." And I was like, "What?" And he just got me the game. So I was like, "Well, Andy's got me the game, and he's pissed off to Corfu on holiday, so I might as well try this out."
I think we talked about this before when we were talking about No Man's Sky on the podcast, and then we came across the revelation for me that it was not multiplayer, and I was like, "Oh, I had no idea about this." I recall us talking about this before.
Yeah. We
sudden bombshell of like, No Man's Sky.
Didn't we say it was gonna be? It was meant to be multiplayer.
I think at the time we said
no. At the time we
I'm
said
pretty
it
sure
wasn't
at the time.
multiplayer.
I was convinced it was. I was like, I'm looking forward to exploring all these different universes and just like and meet up with people. Like, then you can't. It's not multiplayer.
Oh yeah, it's like.
Huh?
So the idea was that you were kind of going to be in these little server bubbles.
And you may one day encounter a real person.
You may one day, because it is online. You do have to be online to connect to the game. But you.
It's probably because the servers are doing the heavy lifting of generating most of the world.
The game. So when I installed the game, the thing that surprised me the most was the game was 2.5 gigabytes.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Well, I just downloaded a Doom update that was 12 gigabytes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with AAA titles though, because of the need for like really high textures these days. The game's just getting huge.
The biggest problem with this game is it's an indie developer being marketed by Sony.
Yeah.
So the hype is unreal for this game, even though it's kind of like a indie development company.
To me, I'll jump the gun here and just say it's just basically an average survival game at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just
I saw in an interview
boring.
Like Sean Murray put up his house for like sale so he could continue working on his company because they made the original Joe Danger, you know, that little
the little guy on the motorbike. Yeah,
because he used to work at EA, and what he said was my house was like a blood diamond from EA because I bought it with that money, so it was kind of like blood money. So I had to sell the house.
Okay.
Because it was EA blood money, and then I could use it to start my own company.
I'm not so sure EA's that evil, but okay.
They're not Peter Molyneux. That's
true. Well, they actually treat. It's not like Konami. They actually treat the developers with respect.
Well, he's in the interview. He said he was talking with other people, and he's like, "I want to build a skyscraper. Let's build this skyscraper." and he sold his house for the development of the game. But I think they've made a shit ton of money through this marketing.
Not surprised. The thing is, though, from what I've seen of it, I've seen a lot of people still posting stuff. I don't know that they're necessarily not enjoying it. I know I've seen some people are posting like T-Rexes walking around that have tiny arms.
That's my favourite
legs.
part, right? The exploration. I like the idea of finding new things, but they put so much emphasis on the survival that I cannot be bothered to pick it up.
So if you've seen Jim's video on it, he kind of talks
Jim
about
Position.
Jim Sterling,
Yeah.
He kind of talks
Jim fucking
about
Sterling,
he's Jim fucking Sterling, son. King of the pog fuckers.
Pogs, boglins.
I'm fairly sure that is how he'd want to be introduced.
He's
Jim
so.
Fucking Sterling, son. Thank God for him. But the animals are kind of like Lego Build-A-Brick.
Yeah, they like
I know what
randomise
you
the
mean.
heads, like the back, the legs.
So you'll get like a dog with
You could make them from
claws and
Spore
stuff
or
like.
something.
Yeah.
The funny thing
very
is,
much
this
like
game is very similar to Spore. It's
In
like
its
a
hype.
space exploration game that had massive hype and was really disappointing.
Yeah, everyone is comparing it to Spore at the moment.
Except with spaceships.
I didn't hate Spore that much.
I didn't hate Spore that much. I
actually,
don't hate No Man's Sky that much either.
My favourite part was the starting part where you just ran around eating cells. It was like Feeding Frenzy, where you just get a bigger and bigger cell.
You can get that on like, your tablet or phone though. Like it's like
Toby's a
Spore
robot.
cells or something.
Toby has in fact just roboted all over the place.
You won't be able to hear
the
it.
podcast will just hear
Because-
normal
yeah.
stuff.
I
What are
think
they
you'll
talking
find
about?
that
But for us?
you have as well. And
Actually, maybe we're becoming robots.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy.
Right, but we got local recording, so it doesn't really make a difference.
no,
It makes a difference to us. It means that I have to listen to Toby sound like the fucking Terminator.
Toby's always a robot.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Spore. So you kind of went from like this feeding frenzy stage to this. You kind of have to make friends with other tribes.
Well, no,
No,
you just eat them.
And then it went to this weird RTS phase where you had to conquer
Yeah.
your planet, and then you went to space exploration.
Yeah.
Which is just
And
like space RuneScape.
And then your
just click and do
abilities-
stuff.
Your abilities were kind of based on, what you did during the other stages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like I was quite like aggressive. So I got like an ability where I could put a pirate beacon on a planet, and then a load of space pirates would come and like attack the planet. But like Irvin's, he was like a kind of like a scientist. So he got an ability to like instantly like terraform a planet.
That's cool.
So the way you played the game in the early stages interacted with the way you actually had the game in the later stages, which I thought was pretty cool. Galactic Adventures was okay. You kind of
It was okay, but it
expansion,
wasn't.
so
that
it
was the
wasn't worth the
expansion.
Okay.
price.
So at the end of Evolve, you basically flew around, you terraform planets, sort of thing. And then Galactic Adventures allow you to go onto the planets and kind of do quests
Yeah,
there.
you can also create your own quests, your own planets as well.
That's cool.
If
But
you
No
subscribe
Man's-
to people's planets, you'd find them in and around your galaxy. It's kind of interesting.
So, No Man's Sky, however, is not creating your own life. It's just
No,
discovering existing.
But it has.
So
It generates it itself.
I'll talk about my experience of the game. So I installed it. I got a cutscene that kept stuttering to a cinematic 30 FPS.
Wow.
And then I got onto the planet. There was a lot of hitching and stuttering. I managed to uncap the FPS. By the way, some of the most annoying menu buttons I've ever seen from a game, because you can't. I was just trying to click, like, you know when you got like arrows and you click left and right. You have to hover over them and then click it to make sure you really want to.
Don't you have to hold it as
Click
well?
on
Like you have to
across.
wait for the bar.
You have to
fill.
hold down the button. A circle goes around and then it moves across.
It's so consolised.
It's like it was designed for VR or something, like where you have stupid
it
controller
seems like it was,
interactions.
because I think, sitting in the cockpit of your ship would be like a good game to have like an Oculus Rift.
Well,
or
if you're saying it's
something
backed by Sony, is it on PS4 as well?
yeah, it's
I
on
bet they've
PS4.
tested it with Morpheus. The PS4, or
I'm
VR
going to
one,
say it now. A No Man's Sky and Morpheus, you would get like 10 FPS at most.
probably.
There's no way they could run it at this point. They would really have to bring out this beefier PS4 that they're promising. And I don't think even then, like, it's still running like shit on PC. They've just patched it recently to try and fix these issues. But the funniest thing was, like Toby Biscuit like streamed it on the day it came out, and they were saying like, I just literally he had to like rage quit the stream. He's like, I literally cannot stream this game. It's so broken. And then he was like on Twitter, Sean Murray was trying to damage control. He was like, have you updated your drivers? That was like their fix for it. Make sure you got the right drivers.
Have you got the latest drivers for your
Have you
machine?
tried turning it off and on again?
Toby Biscuit is renowned for like updating to like the experimental drivers for new games as well.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I imagine he probably kicked off like, yes, Mr. Murray, I am running the latest.
He has like friends like in like Nvidia as well, like
I wouldn't mind. So I wouldn't mind the game if I could just fly around, but even flying into the planet, it kind of freezes for like 3 seconds. You get like huge freezes, and you can't actually crash your ship. They've designed it in a way that if you get too close to the ground, it kind of steers you upwards.
Oh really?
Can you die?
I think you can die if you're on the planet.
It's such a casual game.
And like your so you have like a meter of like your radiation suit that goes down, then you have your life support system, and you have to refill these with elements.
Like radiation, toxic, and life.
So the first planet you get put on, your ship's broken. It teaches you like the crafting system of how to repair.
Simple tutorial.
So I had to walk like for like an hour across the like planet to get to this one material I needed for the ship, and after like an hour of walking, I realised I had a sprint key. So I'd walked the entire way, and I was like, "Oh my god, I wish there was a numlock key in this game." Do you know like numlock key?
I know what the numlock key is.
It's an old MMO term. So like WoW, the numlock key is auto run.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, an auto run key would have been a better description of the numlock.
Yeah.
Like, I only want to use my numbers.
But no matter what an auto run key is in a game, I always just call it numlock.
Okay,
you could just call it auto run though. It's the same syllables.
Yeah. But it's just in every MMO. Like I can't remember.
No,
it's like
not Guild
someone
Wars,
was up.
But okay.
Not in Guilds, but in like Blade and Soul. It was like, I wish there was an auto run key in this game, and my friend was saying this. I was like, just press numlock, and he's like, oh, it's auto running. Like people know that numlock is the auto running key.
Okay, fair enough.
There's always an auto run in MMO. But I'll give you that. But
based on the information which they said was going to be in the game, right? Where from what I saw, you could like fly from a planet to another planet, land on that planet, look at the shit on the planet, get back to your
really
ship, and fly to
interesting
a different
creatures.
Planet. Can you do that?
Yeah, but the planets are really uninteresting.
All the planets are very similar. The wildlife is very similar.
Sparse?
No,
there, like not a lot there.
There's a lot of animals and things, that's like it's saving grace.
There's like a lot of planets that are uninhabitable. So
Yeah,
there'll be kind of like empty planets with not a lot on them, and there'll be
but
like acidic.
The ones with life on are full of life, though.
So I've seen some though that are like Ismames, like have the beginning to Jurassic Park where it had like the No Man's Sky cinematic trailers or whatever. There's tons of different types of creatures everywhere, and then it switches from like the actual Jurassic World theme music's playing, and then it changes to the guy playing it on like the harpsichord or like one of those mouth organ things, and it just shows you the T-Rex with like a giant head and tiny body walking around. Like, is it actually like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
You can kind of interact with the creatures on the planet by feeding them carbon.
I think different species have different things to eat, but
I don't love carbon.
You kind of feed them, and
you eat carbon all the time.
You give them food, and they'll just kind of follow you around the planet, and that's kind of one of the only kind of interactions you have with the animals on the planet. But yeah.
So
what was I going to say? I feel like the features that are there are kind of very hollow. They're kind of full show, but there's not a lot to them.
So it's a good concept, poorly executed.
Yeah.
They put way too much time to survival and not enough time to interesting exploration.
Time on the podcast, Toby, you know we have that running feature where you say, "Is a game going to be good or not?"
Yeah, you're 2 up.
I said I thought No Man's Sky was going to be okay.
It was okay.
It was okay because
it was just okay.
What I prefixed was saying No Man's Sky isn't going to be the game everybody thinks it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game where you get into a ship and you fly around. There's no multiplayer shit. There's not as much stuff as people are hyping it up.
Well, because this is what we said last time. I didn't know it didn't have multiplayer, and at this point, I think lots of other people.
Did you know that the No Man's Boys, as Jim calls them, they DDoSed his website because he gave No Man's Sky a negative review?
Well, no, it wasn't even a negative review. It's an okay review.
But that's
like
not
5 out
anything
of
to
10.
do with. You can't give that. So I have an issue with people that do this, right? The dickheads, because they are DDoSing a guy because they didn't like a game that they did like. But that's actually not a bad reflection on the game, shouldn't it? It's just that the fans of the game are.
It's a bad reflection of the hype culture.
Yeah, that's true. So, No Man's Sky.
Like, Jim prefixes the video by saying, I'm not talking to like your average Reddit user who's just posting on the No Man's Sky subreddit and saying, look at this awesome thing great. I'm talking about the diehard fans that send death threats to people if they give the game negative reviews and like DDoS websites.
So this is No Man's Sky is like a do not buy.
I wouldn't buy it at this point. Like my friend Danny came back from Corfu and I just said, you should refund this game because I played under an hour of it because I didn't want to play over 2 hours, so we could still refund it.
Yeah.
I basically said to him, like, the game's being patched to run, but there's really not that much to do. They may make the game better in the future with updates, but at that point, you're probably better just waiting for it to go on sale.
Yeah,
because it's really not worth £40.
So this is what I was going to ask actually: is it worth buying at the £40 price mark, or is it worth waiting for it to come down in price? Because this comes out or has come out.
If they make changes to the game, it might be worth.
Waiting for it to come on sale.
But at the moment I wouldn't buy it for like more than a couple of pounds, like £5.
Wow, that's not bad. Because Deus Ex Human Revolution comes out soon, and I will probably buy that game then, because it will be quite expensive, but I love Deus Ex, and that's already getting really positive reviews from people I've seen.
Well, you just wait for the reviews to come out.
Yeah.
See what it's like. That's what I was going to do, but then I had a surprise. Much like Andy always does, he'll come in the podcast room, surprise me with...
Hey guys, you want to come play this game? Like, you're not supposed to be.
And then just gets me No Man's Sky. And, yeah. We're back.
Hello.
Welcome back. So
we had a mid-podcast break.
I don't think being attacked counts as a break, but yes, a break.
I got to go use the loo. That means it's a break for me.
What I was saying was... I probably wouldn't recommend No Man's Sky.
No,
probably
at least
wouldn't.
wait until it's technically stable, and then have a look if it's for you or not.
Yeah, buy Deus Ex instead, because that'll be heaps better.
Wait until it comes out.
Wait until that one comes out as well.
Pre-order everything.
We're not sponsored by Eidos Interactive.
Well, I know
Square Enix.
Jim said he's on a different stance to TV on pre-orders, where TV's like, never pre-order.
He's saying
pre-ordering is
it's
evil.
the only thing in the industry that like Jim is more lax on than TV.
Well, Jim's a bit more lax in emulation. If you
that's true. That's true.
It's Jimquisition on emulation, because a lot of games media journalists won't talk about it because they know they'll get a lot of backlash from like. People were saying, "Oh, you're stealing like games and stuff."
They're old games, though. You can't play them. That's why they're emulated.
Let's not have this conversation now, boys.
It's just been emulated by the No Man boys. We don't need the emulator guys on us as well.
All right, let's not cause.
What Jim says is, you should pre-order a game if it's part of an existing franchise, and you trust the developer.
And you're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, and there's like an incentive to pre-order. Like, it would be stupid not to, sort of thing.
The thing is, though, Toll Biscuit's stance is that you shouldn't do that because you shouldn't. They add these bonuses so you pre-order it into a game you don't know, and that's Toll Biscuit's stance. He doesn't like. It's like a self-feedback loop of people buy it, so they give more bonuses. People keep buying it, and it's just worse and worse.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like crazy. Like, I think the Bioshock Infinite one was like. You get a copy of Bioshock, you get a copy of XCOM, you get TF2 hats, you get a discount. It was like probably better to pre-order that game.
Yeah, and it was pretty good.
It was okay. Part of an existing franchise that I was a fan of, and it looked good, so I did pre-order that game. But as a general rule of thumb, if a new game's coming out that you don't know anything about, or the company has a track record of making awful games, something about you,
if they release loads of games,
should not pre-order
and it's really bad on launch.
So to finish off the No Man's Sky topic, have you seen the webcomic that Toby will definitely not link to, but whatever?
You can put it in the description.
Maybe. There's a webcomic called Video Games Valhalla.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite funny. You should link to it, Toby. It basically involves...
If you link it to me, I will link it to them.
I will do just that. It basically involves Sean Murray sat in his bedroom, and Peter Molyneux comes down to him the Herald, Peter Molyneux, says,
Yeah.
"Well done, Sean. I can take you now up to meet Milo in video game Valhalla." And he basically like drops him off, and Sean Murray's just like, there's just like two developers over there in a ball pit, and the house isn't even finished, and Peter Molyneux just fucks off like, "There are all sales are final in video games Valhalla." It's just like talking about saying, "There are no lies here, Sean. Only promises we haven't fulfilled yet."
Wow, that was very Molyneux-esque.
Yeah, we've been Molyneuxed.
We got Molyneux by Sean Murray. Classic. I've already bought 10 Connects right now because of No Man's Sky. So.
Project Milo. What's he like?
I just want to interview him. One of my questions would be, Peter, where is Project Milo?
Is he in the closet? Have you slaughtered?
He's chained.
So I was looking up the development of Project Milo, and apparently the development of like Fable 3 was still going on at the same time as Project Milo, and they kind of didn't interact with each other, and it kind of just died off slowly. Like they kind of working on it is what like an insider said, and the only time they interacted was because of like a studio like Lionhead Studio baking contest.
Wow.
And that's like the last time they saw any of the Project Milo people. Like I've looked into this because it's quite.
I like the evidence. You look down the rabbit hole, like the evidence led, and it was a baking competition at Lionhead Studios.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where Project Milo ended. That cake.
Well,
I just wanted to ask him if he ever thought he could actually do Project Milo.
Of course he would say yes. You know the answer, Joe.
People were saying, Peter, did you overhype the cube? And he said, no, I didn't hype it up enough.
Yeah, he's a strange man.
I was watching a video where someone was describing Blizzard's World of Warcraft expansions as a Molyneux-esque cycle. Yeah. Where they say, this one, last one sucked, guys, this one's going to be really good.
Wow.
But I will talk about Peter for like 2 hours. So let's.
We need a Peter episode at some point.
Well, what we should do, Toby, we should have a Peter Molyneux only podcast.
We have a podcast.
That'd be a really good.
I'm not coming unless it's got at least a piecemeal part about Overwatch on it.
Well, I'm sorry, you're fired from the Peter Molyneux podcast.
So I have played One Man's Lie of Sean Murray. He Molyneuxed us all, and I would not recommend that game. Please do not buy it, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. If you like the game, don't feel obliged. Don't feel obliged to
subscribe to the
obliged to hate the game. Don't feel obliged to love the game. If you personally enjoyed your experience in the game, good for you. Definitely.
It's not for us. It's all we're saying, really.
Yeah.
Please stop DDoSing us.
We'll move on to the next thing. Oh, sorry, you want to say something, Tony?
No, I'm just saying, like, obviously technical issues are actual facts, and that is shit. But
yeah,
like the game. Go for it.
So, next topic you want to talk about is in CS:GO. What has always happened, if you've ever seen any CS:GO esports, is there will have the 5 players on the computers, and they'll have like someone stood behind them who is like the in-game, like the coach. He's kind of like the in-game shot caller. So in a lot of esports games, you have the coach, and he's allowed to kind of talk people
League has
through.
that, right?
Yeah, they have a coach who can talk someone through picks and bans, but throughout the game, you're not allowed to have any interaction with anyone else. But CS:GO has always been quite interesting for me because they've had this in-game shot caller who's not necessarily a good player, but is good at leading people, and he's good at strategy. But what Valve's done is they've said, we want CS:GO to be in the statement they've said they wanted CS:GO to be a 5v5 game, and with the in-game shot caller it felt a lot more like a 6v6 game.
Is that necessarily a bad thing, though?
The in-game shot caller was like an extra person. I don't think so.
No, I think that's actually more interesting.
Do you know what else strategy is a 6v6 game?
What?
Overwatch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I saw that one coming a mile away. You can't fool me.
Ah, well. Can't Molyneux you.
The interesting thing is that it is quite. I find it a lot more interesting to watch a game that has a lot of strategy.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Like, I don't really see why they've done this. They haven't announced that they're doing this for all events because it's only Valve events are kind of stopping this. But I'm assuming that other events will follow suit. If that's.
Do you mean other games as well, though? Because I'm pretty sure Dota has a coach.
I think CS:GO is one of the few games that actually has the in-game shot caller. That's why it's so interesting.
Actually, it's true. I don't know if
good
the coaches for Dota are allowed to say anything during the match.
They might be. I don't know, because they have soundproof booths, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
The coach may be allowed in there to talk to them.
I think so.
I don't really watch that many Dota matches. I've only seen like the international last year.
This is the problem with me being the Dota 2 expert on this podcast.
You're not the Dota 2
I don't know
expert.
anything about Dota 2. Well, I mean, comparatively, I am. You do know less than I do.
I know. I probably know more. I've played the game.
I've played the game too. I'm terrible at it.
Okay. But
don't take away my title from me. I'm going to be Lord of
not
Overwatch.
the expert.
Everything in between Lord of Dota 2 keys. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I remember talking about this with Tony, because I was absolutely flooded with Dota 2 keys when they were at the start. They were kind of rare to get a Dota 2 key, and then they just gave you like, here's 7 more Dota 2 keys. For every key, there's 7 more. They just flooded you with Dota 2 keys, and then Toby was like, if there's an apocalypse right now, Dota 2 keys are going to be the currency. They're going to be the pop caps.
Not pop caps. It'll be Dota 2 keys.
Yeah.
Wow.
But unfortunately, Galen got rid of all.
Yeah, I wanted
keys.
to trade them all and just get all of them like for no good reason. But he got rid of them.
I forgot about that. Wow.
But anyway, one of the arguments for why you shouldn't have the shot caller in the game is like they say you could get 5 players who are really talented mechanically but aren't very good strategically, and then you just get one person who's the shot caller to do all the strategy, and then you essentially have a mastermind with like 5 puppets.
I don't see the problem with that. That seems really interesting.
No, that sounds really interesting to me.
I think Valve wants it to be like 5 best
the
players
5
are
best
the
players
5
in the world.
most talented mechanically, but also the 5 most talented strategically as well.
I don't see the point in that. Just make it a 6v6 with only 5 players. I don't see a problem.
The problem where that falls down, right, is where you say that there's these 5 people and they're the best at the moment, and hey, look at them.
Not necessarily how they work for each other.
Really good, right? There's nothing to stop that team from going out and finding 5 people that are really good tactically, really good mechanically, and one person who is just a super tactician, because that would just be the best point of that one. And I'm pretty sure that if you took away that in-game shot caller, the team comps are probably not going to change that much.
Yeah.
Well, you can see sometimes like a game like League where they aren't allowed an in-game shot caller. A lot of the times they'll just walk around doing nothing, or they'll start a fight for no reason, and you just get these massive unstrategic fights. And I think if a game like that actually had an in-game shot caller, you'd see a lot more less stupid matches and a lot more stupid
there would
plays,
be people that would be there that would be saying it's my job to make sure that we win as better.
There'd be a lot more strategic matches.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of against this, because I was really interested in CSGO because they had the shot caller that can kind of shot call him during the match. I think he's in the Valve sponsored events, and now he's only allowed on the stage during picks and bans, because they ban maps and stuff in CSGO.
Oh right, yeah.
And during pauses, because you can pause to have like.
That's really weird. Makes them feel like they're probably really defunct at that point.
Well, that's kind of no, because they're still coaches.
I guess.
Because that's kind of like what a coach does in like League of Legends.
Yeah, they ask, I guess, what was doing wrong.
They plan strategies for picks and bans. They coach the players during the week off where they're not playing, or in CSGO you have a lot more events, but recently there's been the E-League, which is kind of the big push for a league for CSGO, where you have like a weekly-ish tournament where they fight against each other. It was even televised, actually, E-League. I think it was on ESPN.
Really? Wow.
Or something like that. But, yeah.
Reminds me of the time that Dota 2 was on BBC website at some point. That was my favourite.
They did a BBC stream of the League of Legends World Championship.
The day that some game I actually play ends up on like terrestrial television is the day that esports is starting to become a thing. Right now, it's just still too niche. Like if there was, there wouldn't be because Twitch exists. But if there was like a channel dedicated to like the esports events that were going on, I would watch the crap out of that on TV. But the thing is,
ESPN has its own esports division now.
Yeah, but it's a division. They don't actually have a channel dedicated to it, right? And it's
they show
tournaments.
Highlights, and they show tournaments on the ESPN, like the Ocho. On like one of their smaller ones, you know, from like dodgeball. It's like we're watching dodgeball on 8, the Ocho. Like one of their smaller channels, and a lot of people were getting really upset because they were just like, I'm here to watch basketball. Why is there a bunch of nerds playing fucking video games, dude? I'm doing an American voice because Americans are stupid.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't get that. I didn't get that subtle play on your voice there. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, the only
just
time
alienated
I've
the
ever heard
entire other half of the continent from our podcast.
Well,
way to go.
Well, every time I hear an American person in real life, they're very loud and ignorant. So
I think you've just
every American
quite
I've ever come
unfortunate
across.
who you found.
I'm going to stereotype every American into one category. I'm just going to generalize them all. They're all loud and.
I work with some Americans. They're lovely.
Really?
They're lovely.
You're not just saying that because they're going to listen to it.
They're lovely.
Okay. Well, anyway, what was I making fun of Americans for?
Because the shot callers. I don't know how we got here.
What?
Esports,
Tony, what was I saying?
Esports on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Nerds playing
yeah.
videos.
I'm glad that Tony knows what's going on. Otherwise, we would be at lost.
I'm always going off on Tangerine, so he has to keep me on track. I'm always going off on tangents and shit, so he has to rail me back on.
Sometimes I go off on tangents as well, but mine tend to be mini
Pretty
tangents.
sure I am the most intangential person. I'm pretty sure that's not the appropriate usage of that word.
That is
but,
pretty bad
whatever.
usage of that word.
Well, we could talk about that as a tangent if you
We
want.
could do. So, intangential's a really bad word to use there because
It's
I don't know
not
how to
because
keep
it's
going.
not a real word.
I know it's a word.
No,
I'm
yeah,
pretty
it
sure
is-
that's not the
it's a
usage
word.
of it.
Well, for the
Intangential.
dictionary viewers out there.
Let's go to
Okay.
dictionary corner. It is a word, and the joke did make sense.
I think you'll find it is a word, and it has many
So
uses.
again, he doesn't get that reference. There's some.
Well, I've
No,
told you
no,
once
no.
the IT trap
I've
several
seen many
times.
clips. It's okay. It's okay.
Hello, that's a nice Tinetten bar you've got there.
Yeah, I have
Yes,
seen
in
that
that.
clip.
Anyway, I think it's a stupid move for Valve to remove the shot caller from their sponsored events. Whether they'll still do this in E-League, whether they'll still do this in like ESL and that sort of stuff, or Dream Hacks, you know.
Or in fact, transition it to Dota as well. I don't know. It just seems odd.
I think it's a weird move from Valve. I don't like this change. I think coaches still are really important. A lot of people have been outspoken saying, "What's the point of coaches now?" And coaches are always going to have their intrinsic value. In picks and bans, in training, in
Infinite
pauses. Even if a coach is like a life coach and can say, I can help you out here, I can help you focus, they're still going to be way more valuable than not having anyone as a
Isn't that
coach.
the name of a Hearthstone streamer?
Life coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, his job is a life coach.
Oh, cool. That makes sense.
That's why he's called life coach.
I'm pretty sure I've met him at LAN.
Like, there's people who just have like their job as like their name. Like there's a guy who streams they call history teacher. And
yeah.
he was famous for.
Did you make lots of Magic?
I don't think so.
I think a lot of people from Magic are starting to transition into Hearthstone. Again, complete tangent, but you know.
But he was just like he played in the top tier challenger and he just told people history facts. And it turned out he was just a history teacher called history teacher.
Wow.
Okay.
But that's a Tangerine.
This is.
I think this move is stupid. I don't think they should ban in-game shot callers. I think they have a lot of value. Definitely going to keep your coach. What do you think, Tony? You love CS:GO esports.
I love coaches in esports. Confirmed. Next topic.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a terrible orang tangent.
Toby, this is actually your topic because you're going to talk about Star
Yeah,
Citizen.
I'm going to talk to you about it and how it
I should
might
buy
be
that
better
game.
than No Man's Skies.
Well, don't buy it until it comes out.
I've already bought it.
Reviews.
You can't stop me now.
Toby's.
Is it not out yet?
No.
Is it technically still in beta?
They just showed like a gameplay demo.
It's
at
not even
Gamescom.
it's not even in beta. It's nothing.
Star Citizen.
It's got
What?
lots
No,
of
you
little
can play.
modules.
Toby's kickstarted it.
Yeah, basically, okay.
So you
A
can
couple of
play it
years
now,
ago,
then?
Kickstarted it, right? Actually, it was technically
Right.
after the Kickstarter. They're making lots of modules. They've got like the spacecraft module, like the arena module, the planet module. They've just done. They've had
Oh,
they've
right,
had
so they've
station
just
and
not
walking
glommed it
around
all
for a while.
together.
Because they're going to eventually combine it into one game. At the moment, they're developing them all independently.
It looks a lot more impressive than what No Man's Sky was going.
Yeah, there's actually
So this.
proper currencies and things. You have like I think at some point you have your own like carriers and things. Is the idea?
Yeah, some of the stuff I've seen of like what I thought was a game that was out, but apparently not.
No.
It looks really good. Like the graphics look amazing, which
Yeah,
obviously I know
it's
lots
in
of people have
CryEngine,
talked
so
about.
it's very good.
The space sort of science, I'm going to call it space science, looks pretty
They've
good.
put like blackout if you have pulled too much of a G in a certain direction.
Yeah.
It's quite realistic in that sense. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
that
realistic in
seems
every
really
sense,
cool.
but it's authentic, I guess.
like, I think it would be right in saying non-Newtonian space flight. I think that's
Non-Newtonian?
on
I mean,
point.
Newtonian.
Probably. I don't know science. Me.
Newtonian.
You
Yeah, it's Newtonian momentum.
Toby's an
and things.
astrophysicist.
It's close enough. This is why I put the words out there and Tony corrects me. It's fair enough.
Yeah, no,
Toby
it's
knows about
using
space
some
shit.
sort of Newtonian physics. They've introduced the planets which has some sort of not perfect or like at all accurate, but some sort of aerodynamics and like lift
Do they
and
have
drag and things to the atmosphere and like shock heating.
Gravity and nonsense.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
I like gravity.
There is like no gravity sections in the first person bit already.
There's
so.
no questing.
There is questing.
Was there questing?
Yeah. In the
major development
in the
has
game show,
questing.
they added questing that had like an NPC that actually talked to you. There's always questing. They've been questing for like 6 months now.
So I
I
was making a joke because my friend was very adamant there was no questing in Game 2, and I said there is questing. It's just they also have dynamic hearts. He goes, no, there's no questing.
Oh.
There's no. So every time
Denied,
you're
no
listing like
questing.
features, I'll just go, there's no questing. There's no questing, and then Toby goes, well, actually there is. Get right.
So the other
many
thing
an
I think I've
argument.
seen for this is they've got people like what's his name? Mark Hamill doing like playing characters.
As
in
everyone
it, right?
knows, the famous spaceman, the Joker.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Not
was-
anything to do
No,
with it.
nothing
I can't
else.
think of anything else he's been.
No, he hasn't done
I
any
think he's
space
been a Skywalker on a
He was
planet.
on. He was on Star Trek.
That's
wasn't
Yeah,
right,
that was it.
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was on the episode of
Lieutenant
Doctor
Commander
Who, Star
Data.
Trek.
He was Lieutenant Commander Data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
So
fair,
I've
Data doesn't
seen,
look a
like-
lot like the Joker, so I mean, it's a good role to fit in. Really.
Does he have more involvement in this game than he does in Star Wars: The Force Awakens?
I do not know.
Does he say more words?
I do not
yeah,
know.
hopefully.
He is a voice
Well, I'm just
actor
gonna
now,
do-
so I assume he
Does Mark Hamill voice the Joker in the new Batman game? Is he not?
in the
He's not
in the
it.
Rocksteady ones, he does,
He does. Yeah, in Rocksteady ones he did. He's not in the Telltale ones.
which is
Yet,
a crying
at
shame.
least.
He's probably my personal favorite.
He is immortal.
He's just
in that
got
sense.
such a good laugh.
Yeah.
Like I've watched through. I downloaded all of the Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Watched through them all again because they were just great. I love that whole the art style and everything of that series is great. And Mark Hamill just is on
Have you
point.
seen Suicide Squad?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I need to go see
Because
it.
apparently it's
Apparently it's
awful,
crap, yeah.
and the Joker's really bad in it.
Jared Leto basically apparently tries to be Heath Ledger and fails miserably because
Yeah.
he's just
Wait,
trying too hard
I
to
thought
do
it was I thought it was on Star Citizen. What happened?
I'm Tangerine you because I
The
saw
orangutans are real.
I saw your movie sucks review of the Suicide Squad, and apparently it's not great. So
Okay.
if you want to get a review on that, watch Your Movie Sucks.
So, Star
Toby.
Citizen Tony.
What do you want to know? What were we
Yep.
talking about? I've forgotten already.
Is there questing?
There is questing. There is space questing
Can I
and trading.
build my own spaceship in the shape of a large phallic
No.
object?
You can
it's
customize.
not-
You can buy spaceships and then customize what like turrets and engines and things.
So
like
how does
So
does
it's
it
not
have a
Space
destruction
Engineers.
engine like Space Engineers?
that. Not really, but it's not like it has a destruction engine, but not like Space Engineers. The components can come flying off, as far as
Okay.
All right,
I know.
okay.
But it's
How-
not
how-
implemented
how the-
properly yet, though.
I should ask this question: is it online?
Of course it is.
Because
It's my
No
player.
Man's Sky wasn't.
It's definitely online. In the
Okay.
when they first added like the questing not single player, like the questing first person aspect to it, people would park their ships outside to go and get a quest. They'd come back and someone destroyed it. So
So
Star Citizen sounds a lot like what I wanted Eve to be.
yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of is for me as well.
Where I was like, oh, Eve's really cool, and then you go in the game, it's like this is just spreadsheets.
yep.
Spreadsheets.
There's still
Are there
spreadsheets
aliens?
in as far as I think they want to add like this spreadsheet min maxing to Star Citizen, but I don't think it can be more immersive
that's
sort of
weird.
experience.
Yeah.
Are there aliens?
Yes, there are. You don't
Okay.
have much interaction with them, but there are aliens.
Why?
Oh.
How does space battles work?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, there's Newtonian
Dogfights?
physics, and you have dogfights. Yeah, you launch from like a.
To the people listening who don't know about Newtonian physics, I know I do, Toby. But,
No,
any
basically,
layman's out there.
okay. Newtonian physics is like you say you're in space, right? There's nothing to act against you when you move to the left. Nothing forces you to go back right until you go right yourself. So if you go left, you
Gravity's
just carry on
missing
going
and
left
shit,
forever.
yo.
Oh, but biggest question, Toby, is there sound in space?
No, there's reverb sound. It's quite realistic,
Oh, good.
but there is some
So-
sound, I guess. But
I
Sound
can hear
design.
you scream.
no, you cannot hear him scream
Crap.
unless it's over
Unless
an
you're on a
intercom.
microphone. Yeah.
All right.
Like Toby's going to scream now.
Well,
That was a very womanly scream. I'll tell you what, as a talent, our friend Andy, he's been on the podcast, I've said this before many times, but he is very good at imitating a woman's scream.
Is he?
Yeah.
I get him.
how did you find this out? Dare I ask?
Many ago.
Many ago. Many units of
Tony,
time ago.
You need to re-rail this because you're leading this one. And I'm tangerining this.
Oh yeah,
really
made
are.
so
What
many
really
orangutans.
interests you about Star Citizen? Tell me more. Because I've seen some of the gameplay trailer. I saw they kind of added that speeder kind of dune buggy sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I saw that ages ago.
I think it's called a dragonfly. Do you know about the dragonfly, Tony? Okay, well, just fuck it. No Man's Boy struck again. We've been DDoSed there.
Second time
Yeah.
in the podcast.
Well, we're talking about the Gamescom. Is it Gamescom?
Yeah, game.
The Gamescom hour-long demo they showed of Star Citizen,
Yeah.
right? And I watched it and I was like, wait a minute, these aren't new features. There's only like 2 new features in it. Like these
This game is still hilariously expensive as well. I'm just going to interject here, right?
expensive.
Yeah, like as in, like if you want to buy it, you have to buy ships that are really expensive.
No. I would
That's-
not buy ships, right?
No, but you can, right?
Yeah, I know, but how? Okay. Here's a
right.
question for you then. What did the ships do? How do you unlock the ships in the actual game when it comes out?
Fly.
Ah, no fucking
No, neither
clue.
do
That's
I.
why I'm
No one
asking
does.
you.
No one has any clue.
Okay.
People only buy
That's-
ships to support the development, right?
I see.
And to have a fancy, I've got this rare ship that no one else has. But I refuse to buy any ships other than like the starting package, right, which was like £30
Because you're
when I
poor.
backed it.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I have no idea how the game works. I kind of want to work from the bottom. I don't want to have this like, oh, you get given a huge ship. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that might be. I want to work from the bottom all the way up.
Star Citizen.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah,
I think we said everything about Star Citizen then. 'Cause
but yeah,
I'm interested in this, but I will be waiting for reviews before I.
it's something
say
I'm
anything else.
not.
I want to get my hands.
Yeah,
on this
I'm
game.
not. I feel okay backing this though. Like, I'm looking forward to when it finally comes out. But I don't feel like I've lost any money from this. And when it
I
does
just
come
wanted
out,
to
I'll
talk-
get the game as well. So
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because we were talking about No Man's Sky, and it's kind of a similar
yeah.
sort of system
It's
of what they wanted it
hyped
to
to
be.
hell as well. So, but
Yeah.
it's already
So we'll
had like a
see.
huge amount of controversy over the past 2 years in of itself already. So
So guys, don't pre-order. Read your reviews. Wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
And we'll see. It looks interesting. I want to talk about because of Gamescom. We'll go on to the next topic, which talking about hardware that's come out recently. So you have the GTX 1080.
I has a GTX 1080.
You've got the 1070, the 1060, the 1060 3GB.
1070 is basically like the budget card that basically
970 that I have
every
in this
gaming rig
PC.
is going to have now because it is better than the 980 Ti.
yeah, it was
Or
pretty
just
decent,
980.
wasn't it?
One of those two, right? It's better than that.
You've seen the new laptop cards that Nvidia's bought out because and the difference between these is they've kind of dropped the M from them and they're going to be more comparable to an actual desktop GPU, which is really exciting because having like a desktop GPU in a mobile system is something we've never really seen before. So that's really interesting.
What's also quite interesting is Intel just brought out their new, showing off their new upcoming replacement for their CPU architecture, which they claim you can run Overwatch without a GPU on.
Wow.
That's impressive.
It's impressive,
I've seen
but I assume you
AMD's
want to turn that
like
feature off if
Zen
you have an actual
CPU
graphics card.
motherboard combo. Since that's come out, like AMD stocks skyrocketed through the roof.
It's probably super budget and like performance per dollar is
How
probably, like,
how
massive
how
high.
good the Nvidia's been recently, though, I don't really see a point in buying AMD. But it's always nice to have competition.
So the,
Well, AMD
the
is
problem
open source though.
Not open
Not open source, but there are
source.
technologies that are open source with it.
Yeah, so the FreeSync, for
Yeah,
example, is like an avenue they've gone down, which Nvidia don't for some reason. I am only on Team Green because Team Green, to me, has been the easier experience. They
Yeah.
started the GeForce experience, like driver updates, which was always a friggin' pain to do
AMD
before then.
hasn't been great in a long time.
Yeah, they had Catalyst Control Center, which was always a bit rubbish. And that's why I stuck with NVIDIA, because frequent driver updates, more stability, and the cards usually the performance you get out of them is so much better for so much less.
You get bang for your buck.
You do, pretty much. So that's why I stuck with Nvidia. But AMD is coming back again, and they are showing that they are not out of the game yet.
Well, you like AMD, Toby.
I've
got...
Yeah, I've used an AMD card before, and I've looked at, like, it's only been the last year that they've been, like, bang for the buck?
Bang tidy.
Bang tidy for the buck. That's the one.
Yeah.
It's kind of comparable to Nvidia recently, but I've been using Nvidia, like, for longer than I've used AMD though.
It's just a lot of games will support Nvidia, and then you can have a lot of issues you can run into.
Well, the problem I have is the main issue that people have. I know like the hair physics that Nvidia uses, because that technology isn't open source like the comparable AMD one is. AMD's cards have problems, but Nvidia doesn't have problems with what AMD problems have. I think it's a bit of a shitty part of the industry at that point, but.
Nvidia has shareholders, and if it's not bad for business, they're not going to fix it. It's a publicly traded company. You want to say something, Daniel?
I'll come to it later.
You were pointing.
I was.
Stop pointing.
Oh, okay. But yeah. I feel like Nvidia doesn't really need to change anything, and it's on AMD to...
I guess, yeah.
Prove that they have.
AMD needs to be a bit more professional in what they've been doing, whereas Nvidia have been professional for quite a number of years.
Oh no!
But well, AMD released like an SSD recently, or like not that long ago, where it was literally like really uninteresting because they literally just smacked their name on it and they didn't change any of the firmware or the hardware.
Oh right.
It was like literally the same SSD. They really haven't done anything like impressive recently, apart from the Radeon Fury.
Yeah, the Fury range is pretty cool. The Radeons now are getting to the point where it's like this thing costs less than $300 and has the same price per performance as this card by Nvidia, and it was like, whoa, that's pretty decent. And then Nvidia come out and they're like, here's this card that also costs the same as that, and it has more performance than last year's cards, and it smashes them, and you don't need to SLI.
I'm glad AMD exists because it means that both companies upgrade their technology.
Watch them on the PC Game at E3 podcast and see Sue come out and tell us about cards from AMD.
Yeah. Was that the woman that was just wearing a suit and was just like, who are you? And she's like, I am the CEO of some division.
She's like the Asian woman. She's like the head of AMD because the PC Gamer E3 show sponsored by AMD.
Who was it that did that?
Dano.
Yeah, that was so awkward to watch.
Was it? I liked Dano as well. I think it was pretty good this year. Last year it was terrible, but
it was terrible last year. But this year they actually had a lot of like cutting out the bullshit. Trailer. New
and he would like just go straight through the bullshit and ask like the questions as well.
He would ask the questions that people wanted.
I like the whole butt. True, whatever it was, the new South Park trailer that they did.
The like fractured butthole.
Yeah, that's the one that was like fake to start with.
Talking about
like
GPUs,
it was gonna be...
and you've tangerine off.
No, it's my fault.
Tangerines.
So one of the most interesting things that someone like Microsoft said. So we talked about Quantum Break coming onto PC on the Windows 10 store. It's even coming to like Steam and stuff. But what Microsoft has said they want to do is they want to turn like they kind of want to get rid of consoles in a way and just make like the Xbox One into a continually upgraded console that has enough. It'll ideally have enough power so that the system can live forever. But what you will do is you'll just replace the parts and upgrade the system, but keep it on like a closed system kind of game system. So you can upgrade like your Xbox and keep it competitive with like a PC, but it won't be a PC sort of. It'll be like a closed system. They kind of working for this parallel between all systems where you can play the games you want on any system. You can play on Windows 10, you can play it on Steam, you can play it on your Xbox, and they kind of want to merge this thing. So it looks like Microsoft's kind of moving away from having like this you buy one Xbox every 7 years or so system. What did you think about this?
I think it's an interesting thing they're doing. I don't know though. I have to see how this works. He's not going to stop Sony from bringing out newer consoles, is it?
If it actually just forces Microsoft to start bringing things that have previously been console exclusive to the PC, I'm all for it.
They have been recently. So Windows 10, admittedly, not all Windows operating systems, but
Well, they're moving some of the games to Steam as well. I think Quantum Break's been announced on Steam.
Oh, really?
My difficulty with this is that Xbox and Microsoft are still, at the end of the day, out to make money, right? They're going to build maybe this component that you can pull out of your Xbox and you plug another one in on top of the motherboard, right? Eventually, you've basically replaced the entire Xbox, and I bet the piece part components to get the more performance out of
it's going to be worse than
will
PC.
still be way more expensive than if you just bought a comparative piece to plug into your PC if you'd started with that in the first place. And you get way more value out of having an incredibly powerful PC than you do out just to have an Xbox.
With Xbox, they're owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft's like, they have Windows 10, they have stock in PC.
Well, I never understood.
Whereas Sony really don't have any stock.
Well, I never understood.
Computers at all.
Like, I don't know why the console wars were so like apparent, like on the exclusives. Like, people, there are certain demographics that are always going to buy consoles. We don't need to have these exclusives.
Someone like me would only buy a console because of exclusives.
Yeah, I know. But you wouldn't have to do that if it wasn't an exclusive, right? So it's better for you.
Yeah, but
there's still people.
The
yeah, that's for you. But there's some people that can't afford a PC and would rather just not mess around with building a PC and just get a console.
See, that's arguable. I mean, I get the whole I don't want to build it because I might fuck it up.
Yeah.
But the price thing is getting pretty...
It is getting pretty close, but it's still better for a console. For the power to burn on a PC. I'm not going to fight this fight, but I think you're wrong.
Yeah, you get potato smashers where people will build computers with the same money that would cost for a console. And
I think now with the
Xbox spec.
with Nvidia's new stuff, then perhaps, but
new parts.
Yeah.
No. Probably not. You're probably right. With brand new like pieces, getting a new PSU, a new chassis to put it in, new graphics card, new motherboard, etc.
Well, they want like a really powerful PSU so it can keep supporting the system, and then you upgrade the rest of the parts.
So that's weird, right? Them talking specific. When you said about power to start with, I didn't realise you meant physical, actual power, right? Because if they mean that,
well, that's what I took. Maybe they meant.
Well, I don't think they do, because if they do mean that, that means that the trend that we have at the moment is actually that as components get better, they become more power efficient, and they provide more performance.
Well, they're kind of doing away, and new Nvidia stuff.
No, they do. They have done. That's
if you get a power supply unit with enough wattage, you could probably just keep upgrading.
You haven't needed more than like a 550 watt power supply for several years, and with the way that graphics cards are basically starting to sip power now. At this point, you probably won't need another one again until some weird breakthrough in technology happens that causes us to use loads more power but get super value out of it. So I imagine that what they actually meant by saying it needs to be fairly powerful is they probably will start with the base components like motherboard, etc., being fairly decent. So something that maybe wouldn't be on it and have plugged in and be like an M.2 SATA connector, so that it will come with a standard mechanical hard drive maybe, because they don't really need flash storage right now. But then in the future, there's at least the motherboard has the capability to plug in a SATA connector to have really fast storage on it, as an example.
Right.
But we don't really know, so...
I think it's interesting to see what happens here, but we don't really know the details at all at this point.
No. This is kind of just a promise from Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
He's a bit Peter Molyneux-esque.
A little bit.
He used to be like the Lord of Mountain Dew and Doritos, but recently I feel like he's moved more towards like an actual
human being.
Good, yeah, a real human being and a real hero. He's kind of. They're taking these Xbox exclusives, putting them on PC. They are. He called out Konami on fucking over Kojima.
Yeah.
Like Phil Spencer's becoming less of the Lord of Doritos,
becoming more like Notch,
more of
oddly.
Well,
yes.
The Lord of Doritos and Mountain Dew now is Diva.
Yeah, Diva got a new legendary mode
she
where
did.
she eats.
I have it in the PTR. I couldn't believe they added that.
Doritos.
Like, it's literally a bag of Doritos, but it says Divas on it, and she's just playing a game and just munching Doritos and drinking.
So it started off with Diva, where she was a StarCraft 2 professional gamer in the lore, and she kind of piloted this mech as sort of a game and streamed it. So people started making fan art of her being like a gamer, so she was what was called Gremlin Diva, where she ate Doritos and drank Mountain Dew and was like this little crazy gamer. And then Blizzard saw this and they were like, let's make that into an emote.
That's the thing, we're doing it now. This is the only legendary
Gremlin
Diva
right now. Is now canon.
That's great. Also, I think we lost Tony.
No, I'm here. Don't worry.
Oh,
He's still
stunned.
here.
Oh.
The No Man Boys haven't struck again.
God.
Well, yeah, that's. So,
I thought that the Overwatch orangutan might have destroyed him.
Oh, Jesus.
It did destroy me, but only my
that's
soul.
a good name. That's a good name. The Overwatch orangutan is a good name for the.
How about one man's Tangerine?
Oh, that could
That's
be
also
good.
true.
Well, we should move on to Toby's Wishlist, everyone's favourite feature of the podcast.
It is my favourite feature.
As we shit talk Toby's Wishlist full of anime bullshit,
I've
platforms
gotten
he
used to
doesn't
it
want,
now.
and games that are free to
I've
play.
gotten used to
simulators.
what's what I'm thinking of? The abuse I get from this now.
Smack talk.
Yeah.
Shit on.
Yeah.
Get wrecked. Scrub.
Have you put anything interesting on your wish list recently, Toby?
Don't think so. I think it's been a bit out of bounds the past 2 weeks.
A bit barren.
Yeah,
You
but there's
maybe-
still
have you taken
some
No Man's Sky
fantastic
off?
gems on there for you to find, Joe. I can assure you.
Have you taken No Man's Sky off your wish list?
I don't think I have. I should probably do that. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
That Brawlhalla game I was talking about earlier
Is on my wish list.
I'm on my wish list. I don't need to be here.
This is the other thing say tilted.
That's a picture of Martin sleeping, and I put tilted on it because he looks tilted.
The hell is out there? Out there, Omega.
Well, you can have a look
Don't know what that
afterwards.
was, but it looks cool.
Wait, what?
So, no, we were talking about a game on the Steam homepage.
Okay.
As I was making my way to your wish list because I was stalling for time because I hadn't set up beforehand.
Okay.
So I was asking you about stuff you put on your wish list.
I see what you're doing,
Oh,
but it's now
interesting.
backfired.
Yeah. What is Hexoscope, Toby?
Hexoscope.
It's 79p. Why have you not bought it already?
I can't afford
Oh,
it.
that's
I'm
what I was
living on
going
a
to
can
say.
of
So
beans.
I was talking about Brawlhalla. That was my friend Martin was saying we should play this, and he said, "I said, oh, what's it about?" He was like, "Sure, it's already on your wish list." I was like, "What?" Apparently, I already wish list the game.
Yeah.
About. And it was a free to play game, but I think I may have put it on my wish list when it cost money. So I don't think I'd put a free to play game on my wish list.
Okay, I'm really
Right.
confused by Hexoscope.
Hexoscope is
This
just like a
video's playing, I
puzzle
don't know
game,
what's
isn't
going
it? It's like
on.
the pipe game.
It looks
It's like the
very
pipe game.
confusing.
Like a pipe game.
It's nothing like
It's
the pipe
exactly
game
like the
from
pipe game, but it's
Bioshock.
not one flowing
No,
water stream. It's
it's
multiple
not.
streams.
Is it Hexic?
You have to
It's
make sure there's no
way more
open
confusing.
lines. Basically, they all have to be a closed system. As far as
It
I
looks
wanna-
like a rubbish Hexic.
Do you want to read the description, Toby?
Of course I do. Hexoscope is a new puzzle game that challenges your skill to create from chaos. You should arrange the chaotic combination of hexagonal chips to create a chain from a power source. From power source to power receivers, you should swap chips with each other to combine their pins into a solid chain from source to receiver. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like the water
So it
puzzle
sounds
to
like
me.
transition.
So this is like an indie casual puzzle game.
Yeah,
Let's have a
yeah.
look at the features. Steam trading cards, of course. That's a general feature of Steam games these days and Steam Clouds.
No achievements. No female protagonist tag.
There's no protagonist to
I don't
begin
think-
with, but okay.
Is this sexist? Can a hexagon be a girl?
Whoa, did you just assume that Hexagon's gender?
I
Jesus.
don't think inanimate
He's a-
objects without reproductive organs can be either gender, but okay.
Whoa!
Toby.
Let's just
Jesus
assume it
Christ,
reproduces
Toby.
asexually and it's neither gender.
The No Man girls are going to come on.
Nah. Oh, no man, gender dysphoric.
The No Man
Attack
people.
helicopters.
Yep, thank you. That's better. This is not going on my wish list. I'm calling it now. It looks rubbish.
Yeah, it looks,
to me,
it looks nowhere near.
It's an interesting
It
game
look-
to me, though. I kind of like these.
It sounds
puzzle
about-
games.
It sounds about as interesting as the way that Toby read out the description.
I thought that's quite interesting.
Bland.
What was the game I was
Boring.
looking at the other day? It was like Detective Sudoku or World Sudoku. It's like a really weird Sudoku puzzle game.
I do like Sudoku.
But it was like Sudoku in the weirdest fucking way you could do it. I'll see if I can find it. Because I was looking at for Sudoku games.
Sudoku Ball
Sud-
Detective?
Yeah, I think this might be it. It was like a detective Sudoku game. So it was like a ball of Sudoku. And it was the detective game as well. It was really confusing. And I didn't know what you did on it or why.
Maybe
Wait, so
that's the
what's
point.
it called?
It's a social experiment.
Sudoku ball detective. I don't know why this isn't on your wish list, Toby, but get on that.
Plus, it's got mostly negative reviews. Just saying. So that's not going on my wish list, I'm afraid, Toby.
Well, that's fair enough. It's just an interesting game.
What about Sudoku Ball?
Sudoku Ball, I will put more research into.
There we go. It's on my wish list.
There you go.
Okay, well, this is an interesting one. I'm going to pick Super Fight because I know what Super Fight is, but I don't know why it's on your wish list because it's.
I don't know what it is.
What?
You want to explain this, Dan?
Wrong?
I shall read
What's
out
wrong
in
with
my
it?
most epic voice. The description. Super Fight is the video game of absurd arguments with friends or delightful internet strangers. Two players draw cards to create ridiculous fighters, argue with one another over who would win the fight, and then other players decide the winner. Mic required, webcam optional. So
It's like a Twitch streaming game.
Yeah.
So Super Fight is a card game.
I can see
Is
that.
it?
Yeah. So originally I had Super Fight, or a small version of it that came in one of my loot crates. And it's kind of Cards Against Humanity-ish, in that in Cards Against Humanity you have the card czar. And the card czar is the person who decides who wins based on the fact that it's like, this is the person that
But it's
does
like
this.
Who wins a fight?
Right, exactly.
The
So
age-old question.
the way it works in the card game is you get given this person to choose from. Like you have a handful
By
of
the
people.
way, who wins in a fight is always Super Saiyan Goku. He's the most
Unless you
powerful
have,
thing.
they don't have any Dragon Balls.
But what if there's the Iron Man who has machine guns for legs?
Yeah, but Dodger.
Because
Dod-
that's what
Super
happens.
Saiyan.
No,
Goku's
Dodger
still
says that
broken
Goku dies a lot in the anime unless he has Dragon Balls. So if he doesn't have any Dragon Balls,
I
he's
like
pretty
the fact that
weak.
we're bringing
Yeah, but I'm
Dodger
talking
into
about
this.
him in like his ultimate.
Yeah, he can still die though.
I still don't care. So the idea is you pick a whole bunch of like canonical characters from different areas. Then they have attributes assigned to them. So
Right.
there's like machine guns for legs, shoots lasers from their eye. And you then go and you argue over who would win in that fight. But if you can't reach a consensus, you can draw another card from the deck. And that deck instead adds a situation. So for example, I could be a bear with laser arms,
Oh.
but I'm actually now fighting for custody of Justin Bieber.
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah, it can indeed.
I don't understand your previous statement of why is this. I don't know why it's on your wish list. It's clear it's why it's on my wish list. It's a cool premise.
Yeah.
No, so the reason why I don't know why it's on your wish list is because I didn't know that it was a video game. I've only ever come across it as a card game.
Right. Sorry.
And the card game equivalent is
I
excellent.
can't remember what I was doing.
The problem is that if you
I was
ever
playing like a free like on the web.
The
sort of game like
animations are
this.
cool as
And then
well.
we
Yeah,
got
they
linked,
look pretty
We got
awesome.
linked to this, and I was like, oh, I didn't realise this was on Steam, and that's how I found it.
No, I didn't realise either.
And then I read that
it
it was
looks
also
pretty
a proper
cool.
card game at one point.
So yeah, like Chris said, the way that this is basically turned into another try and sell board games.
Oh, another person that's OP in these is Batman with infinite preparation.
Yeah, that's true. So they have these sort of things where you fight over a situation, but they also have ones where you can add a like an area where you're fighting. So you might be like the ability to suddenly breathe underwater makes difference because you're now fighting in the Bioshock Infinite universe or some nonsense like that.
That's quite cool. Yeah.
So, because this forces people to play a video game rather than a card game, I'm going to say that this is... Actually, this is a difficult one. Because it could force people to buy the actual card game.
I
if they
think
want
I
to take
would
it with them and
probably
not
if,
play just
if
online.
I played this and had fun with it. I'd want to buy the
Okay, in which case I'm going to say that this will go on my wish list.
Oh,
It's only £7,
it is.
and I think that's actually cheaper. Let me check all the...
There are
different
DLC
card decks you can get
bundles
with it.
though.
So £12. I'm going to do a quick Google and see what Super Fight costs on Amazon, because if it's actually less than the digital equivalent, then that seems quite compelling. Let's have a look. Let's stall for time. Super Fight core card deck. It is actually cheaper to buy the digital equivalent than it is to buy...
Yeah, but that's not with the card packs.
Oh, that's true. That's just a large box. In which case it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily contain all the ones
No,
from the orange
probably
deck or
not.
the red deck.
I probably would want you to buy them as well. Also, there's DLCs for this as well you can buy.
Tony, I've just noticed that there is an anime deck,
I did see that. Yeah, I saw
which
it
is
in the
available
news.
for $3.99.
Well, then you'd have Goku in every single one.
So that's going to have to definitely go on the wish list. I'm adding it to Joe's wish list for
Yeah,
him.
why?
I felt we need to play this at one point together.
You can
It's
play it on a
amazing.
podcast.
Exactly, or a different
reason why this-
type of video, not a podcast video.
If-
More in the
yes.
future on that.
Indeed.
So
So,
who I would think would win one of these? If I could choose one champion, I'd choose Kratos.
I'll
Okay.
give you that one.
I
Actually,
think
he can
Kratos
kill
could
every
destroy
single god,
everyone.
even the Skyrim gods. So
Yeah. Well, Skyrim. Toby,
okay.
Oh, I was going to say Toby has a VR game on his.
we've already done this. We've already talked about this.
Yeah, I've already done this.
Okay, I'm going to pick one more.
It's
And
Mega Dimension Neptunia.
It's an anime PS
so it's
game.
based.
7.
Hyperdimension Neptunia is an anime.
Wait,
bullshit
which
game.
number? There's multiple of them. Which number do you want?
7.
Seven, the new
Right,
one.
so Mega Dimension Neptunia will be a spin off of that for some reason. I'm just going to save us time because I bet it
We're gonna
is.
pick.
I'm going to pick Fury.
No. Well, okay. I know about this game.
You do? Well, I don't.
Was
Okay.
it?
Well, I Fury.
Just Fury.
You remember I told you about this to put it on your wish list. I told Toby to put this onto his wish list.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can sell it to me
Yeah.
then.
So the Fury description is: the jailer is the key. Kill him and you'll be free. So it's for any fans of like a bullet hell or a hack and slash. Literally every level is a boss fight that's ridiculously hard, and you have to beat them, and you have to beat them with different mechanics. So you fight through levels, and you kind of have to kill everyone to get out of this jail. So each level's like it's like a boss fight basically.
So my Scott Pilgrim defeating my 7 evil exes, and they're all real
No, I think he was
dicks.
getting out of jail or something.
Yeah, he's been banished or something, or he's been.
But it's just for people like me who really love combat.
I really
like
like
the art style.
boss mechanics as well. I think that could be really interesting. This looks like the
It's a
antithesis
pretty
of that.
unique looking art style. It's got like lots of different usages of colour. Characters are different enough for you to recognise that you who each person was. You wouldn't get
The
confused.
shading and lighting is interesting as well.
It's nice. I like it. I'm not a fan of combat games, and so far this has been purely cinematic. It looks like, but I don't know that that's the case. Like if that was actually
I think this is
gameplay,
gameplay
that's
as
really
well.
interesting.
The
but
second screenshot is
I'm not
gameplay.
sure. I'm gonna have a quick look see at what's going on.
Because I saw this and I was instantly interested. I thought this looked really
He looks like the
cool.
guy at Devil May Cry.
Does a little bit.
Well, it's kind of that style of game.
Oh, I suppose so. It looks. Yeah, I think this looks pretty neat. Yeah, that definitely looks. Oh, that's very. Oh, what's the game? Geometry Wars, but like a brawler Geometry Wars. This is cool.
Or in terms of art
Okay.
style, or in terms of premise.
Kind of the
Oh,
movement.
okay.
It's weird. I like. Okay, this looks cool.
If you're a fan of like a bullet hell game as well, or something that's ridiculously hard, like a roguelite or something.
I like the transitions between like the big fights when you actually come up to people. Yeah, this game's going on my wishlist too. This is a cool
Well,
looking game.
you can't
don't
add
need
it to Joe's wish list.
No, I can't. It's
Yeah.
already there. But that makes.
It kind of cuts out the story and set pieces of normal like hack and slash sort of bullet hell games, and just has just straight boss fight to boss fight to boss fight. It's meant to be very frustrating and very.
It looks like you would die a lot.
Yeah, meant to be very frustrating, but kind of like very satisfying to find.
This is the kind of game. This is going to be really weird, right? Bradley is really good at games. He's a friend of mine. I should suffix this with, and he loves like games that are stupidly hard, like Super Meat Boy, like Bit Trip Runner, games like Geometry Wars, Evolved, all that kind of stuff. This is the kind of thing I think that Bradley would really.
He likes games that you
enjoy.
can learn how like Twitch reactions for it.
Yeah. I'm going to recommend this to Bradley. That's a first for the podcast. Will recommend this to my friend.
It's that good.
All right, well done, Toby.
Well,
So
I can't take
that's-
any. That was all Joe. That one.
Yeah, I literally said put this.
Yeah,
on
I
my
agreed with
wish
him,
list.
but
Well-
he found it.
I don't care. I'm giving the credit to Tony. He doesn't get this
Oh.
often.
That is true.
Well, it just shows I have a fantastic taste in games.
That you do.
And Toby doesn't.
No,
So
I love
that's
terrible
how-
games.
And-
Of course, I didn't have it to the
That's
taste
true.
in games.
And again, he didn't buy No Man's Sky.
I didn't buy it either.
No,
so-
but you played it. So.
I played it for an hour, and then I said to my
Actually
friend,
said refund the game. Okay,
I want you
guess
to
that argument
refund
doesn't
this
work.
because I don't want to play it.
So
shit.
That's the end.
Final thoughts. Fuck No Man's Sky. Fuck you, Sean Murray.
Don't
Keep on
DDoS
you,
us
everyone.
again, please.
Fuck people. Fuck things. Fuck
Tangerines.
anyone who hates Danny Dyer. And he says, really hope it pisses down all day today. Proper clean out. So that V-Fest is hot tomorrow with a sexy blue sky. Praying hands. Praying hands.
Nice. So the other thing that I'd like to see on the Everything in Between podcast is down the bottom here. There's a cool ghosts link. Where did you find that? Who added that? Was that you or was that Tony?
That was me.
Matt Lees, he is actually also a board game reviewer for Shut Up and Sit Down.
No way.
He is, believe it or not. And I think at the moment he's going through some tough times, so respect to Matt Lees at the moment, because I got my Shut Up and Sit Down subscribers donation.
Well, he is on the dream
newsletter
guest
recently.
list because I would really like to pick
So
cool guys Ghost Brains.
here's some homework for you. Matt Lees, watch his Shut Up and Sit Down review video of a game called Skull. Really simple. He does a nice series called The Opener. And The Opener is where
Well,
I
I
get
saw,
my definition of opener games from, which is games to introduce people to board games.
Well, I saw his rogue. He had some like roguelike reviews. He had like a Rogue Legacy review, and I watched that and thought it was quite good. So.
Yeah, he's really multifaceted. He does board games and like regular video.
He does
games. I
games.
think he's done stuff.
What are you trying to tell me?
I think one of the other people who's on Cool Ghost is actually Quince as well. And he's also on Shut Up and Sit Down, so it's good that they're branching out into other things because they just do really good review content.
Yep.
Plugs over. You can find me on Bracey.
And you said-
You can find Dan on the podcast.
You said plugs
Yep.
are over. You lied to me.
You can.
No,
You
plug
can.
for other
Oh,
people.
okay.
I get as many plugs as I
okay.
like.
Dan is plugging Matt.
Matt Lees.
from Cool Ghost.
Okay.
They actually don't run any ads on their YouTube channel.
No, they don't.
They're supported
They're
purely by Patreon.
Yep, they're very cool.
Yeah.
It's the same method as Shut Up and Sit Down, except Shut Up and Sit Down don't do it through Patreon because they've had such a core. They basically did this before Patreon was a thing.
Yeah.
They had the Golden Pair Subscriber Club, so people who wanted to contribute to Shut Up and Sit Down would basically pay like each month £10 or something.
Just a donation method.
And they
sort of.
like once a year, if you spend over a certain threshold, they send you like a little box of some games and like some handwritten notes and stuff, which is really quite
That's
cool.
quite cool.
So it's like the same idea. It's like subscriber tier awards, except everyone just got the same thing. But it's pretty neat. So
Yeah, well, I have been Joe Squambush. You can check me out on my YouTube channel, Scorn. I think it might be Scorn 2000. I'm at Scorn 2000 on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active. You can see posts for the new podcast there. As always, you are listening to this on the Inbetween podcast YouTube channel, the only place it exists.
Of course it does.
currently,
And, if you're listening, Martin or Scorn Retorts, then thank you for listening the whole way. There are surprises throughout. Do not skip to the end.
Our two dedicated viewers. And Andy, if you're listening to this, I know you're not. Unmute
Well,
the
he's
sound.
not listening. He's muted the sound. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye. Fuck you, Sean Murray.